Minasan, okarinasai. Today I've got part 4 of the Seiyuu units videos. In the older videos I said I wouldn't cover groups that were in anime, but I quickly realized that just wouldn't work. So for this one, most of these girls are in anime and even portraying characters, but still nothing from the massive franchises like Love Live or Idolmaster. I will also be going over each unit as I would with any other idol groups, talking about each year that their songs came out, and concerts, and whatever else applies to them. Some of these will be very short, others will be a bit longer, and of course there will be timestamps for you to navigate. Alright, let's talk about the first group, continuing the trend of starting by briefly going over a unit that I will actually have a full video dedicated to in the future. Wake Up Girls, formed in 2013, signed to the agencies 81 Produce and Avex, while their music is published under Dive 2 Entertainment, having 7 members and even image animals to go with their colors. Leader Yoshino Aoyama having the polar bear in light blue for her image. Sub-leader Kaya Okano with the crocodile in green color, also being the oldest and shortest. Mayu Yoshioka was their center, having the red color and lion for her image. Airi Aino was their dancing queen with the indigo color, as well as the shark. Nanami Yamashita was the peak idol, having purple and the wolf. Minami Tanaka is the sweet and small one, yellow colored and having the tiger. And finally, Miyu Takagi, my favorite member, the tallest and youngest, having the eagle as well as being the orange lady. These girls are the main characters of the Wake Up Girls anime. Big shocker, I know. That aired from 2014 to 2018, having 2 full seasons and 3 mini movies. I say mini because they're like almost an hour long each. Something really cool about the series though, the characters all share the same first names as their Seiyuu, while one of their kind of rival groups actually did the opposite, having the characters share the same last name as their Seiyuu. More on them later in the video. Also, just in general, many aspects of this Seiyuu's backstory and personality were put into the characters themselves. Shoutouts to the in-universe BVEX as opposed to our real-world AVEX. So as for their career, 3 full albums, 1 best of, and 1 live album. Having 9 singles and 1 in collaboration with pop singer Main, the opening for Restaurant to Another World. Also singing themes for more anime aside from their own, like Love Tyrant, Death March to a Parallel World, and Scorching Ping Pong Girls, with some of the ladies even having roles in these shows. They had 4 live tours, and then the final one, the 5th one, had 3 parts. There was another 10 or so smaller live shows, some even being with Iris and Run Girls Run. Also 2 photo books. Praise the Lords. As for the big festivals, they were at Anisama in 2014, 15, 17, and 18. With that last one being their big send-off, having other girls give a little tribute to them as they sang their final song. Animax is a fairly similar situation, being at 2 different shows in 2017, and 1 for 2018, again having a bunch of collabs with other amazing groups to give them a final send-off. They honestly had a really good career with some amazing music, but I feel no one really acknowledges them anymore. They would also often use the abbreviated version of their name Wagu and combine it with greetings for their live shows, like Konichi Wagu or Konba Wagu. Very cute. But that's about it for them for this one. In a few months I'll have a much more detailed video about their 6-year-long career. Well, 6-ish years. Let's move on to the next group, a small one I doubt any of you have ever even heard of. Dot Lady was a very shortly lived Seiyuu unit forming in 2014 and only really being active for 2015, consisting of 5 ladies, Mikako Komatsu, Rumi Okubo, Natsumi Takamori, Shiori Mikami, and Sumire Uesaka. So as I said, they were only active for 1 year, having 2 singles, Open Tuning, which was actually in 2014, and their second single, Progression, was in 2015, then 1 full album titled Go, which had both of these songs on it. I would assume that they just couldn't get the popularity to keep going, considering I'm only really familiar with Sumire and kind of Rumi, and this is way before they were even popular. To me, that's the most plausible reason, or maybe this was just meant to be a shortly lived Seiyuu unit. So with that quick one done, let's move on to a group who's been around for much longer, but only recently really began to pop off. Sound Orion, with the Stardust Promotion Agency. Formed back in 2017, and they actually pronounce it like Sound Orion, with the I being more like an E, and it's all one word. Though that's probably just the accents, so I'm just going to keep saying Orion like the constellation. Pretty funny that Momoyo is in another group with the theme of stars. Speaking of, the members currently consist of Green Leader Momoyo Koyama, Red Lady Ami Komine, the purple one is Asuka Shiori, and the orange girl is Honoka Karoki. Definitely some sort of Love Live reference, there's no way that's just a coincidence. But throughout their career they have actually had other members. Blue-colored Miyo Kawada, who actually left in 2017 before they even really got going. Saya Aizawa was the pink member who left in 2019, also kind of before they really did anything. And Runa Narumi was the yellow one and left in 2021 due to health issues. But we all know it was due to the scandal revealing how bad of a person she is. If you're more curious about that situation, a simple Google search will give you all the info that you need. So as for their career, they fully began activities in 2018 with their EP, Wa, and that would actually be their only release. In 2019, they had another EP, or mini album, titled Wanderland. Wander with an A, not Wander with an O. Also their first single, Bokura no Sailing. 2020 is what I would consider their big year, releasing digital singles Illuminations and Killer Tune, along with their album Sound of Best, all within the same month. Kind of odd having a best of album already, but there was another digital single later in the year, Kokuhaku Boshi. And earlier in the year they had the EP Sound of Orion Solo Collection, a collection of them singing solo songs, if that wasn't obvious. Over in 2021, prior to Runa leaving, they actually released the digital single Line Loop and hard copy single Happy Ice Cream. The year of 2022 gave us their first proper album, March, with an accent over the A, so I'm actually sure that I said the word wrong and it looks German, so maybe it's Mark. Anyway, also second best of album, Sound of Best 2. Now last year of 2023, they finally got noticed, having two banger singles, Angel Ladder and Tentaizu, the ending theme for Stardust Telepathy, their first Annie song. They were also invited to Animax, their first big festival, as well as the Miyako Premium Live. Not as big as Animax, but hey, it's still a very popular event. I wouldn't be surprised if they were at Anisama this year, and I'd almost guarantee that they'll be at Animax again. So that's it for their career, but since this is the first group in the video that's still active, you can actually follow them on Twitter X, the group as a whole, and all the girls individually. They also have a YouTube channel as well. If you're more curious about the girls themselves, well, Momoyo is the main character of Revue Starlight, and I've actually made a video about her already. Though I'm sure she's the one most of you already know anyway. So as for the other girls, Ami is in the Q series with the girls from Dialogue, part of the Air Blue Moon team. Honoka is part of Idolmaster Shiny Colors. And Asuka is in a smaller series known as Pride of Orange, part of their group Smile Princess. Love Live's Maya Sagara is also in this one, and I'll probably even feature that group in the next installment of this video series whenever I decide to make that one. Oddly enough though, both Honoka and Asuka were actually in Bang Dream Season 2 as unnamed one-episode characters. But yeah, that's it for them, definitely give them a try, especially the songs from last year. Moving on to easily my favorite group of this video, even though I was just praising the last group, these girls are, well, iconic. Walkure, the German word for Valkyrie, or just saying Valkyrie with a thick Japanese accent, were formed in 2015 for the upcoming anime Macross Delta in the following year. Part of the Flying Dog label, having 5 members, and naturally they'd all voice their characters in the show as well. Well, with one exception. First up, Nozomi Nishida voicing Makina with the pink color. Kiyono Yasuno is the yellow one, voicing Kaname. Juna, who is actually a singer, not a seiyuu, is the purple one and sings as Mikumo, while Ami Koshimizu voices her, but she's not part of Walkure. Juna is a god tier singer, by the way, like god tier. Anyway, next up, Minori Suzuki as the main character Freya in the red color. Finally, one of my favorite people ever, Nao Toyama as Reina in the yellowish green color. The Macross series creator actually described each member as such. Minori is new, bright, and emotionally rich. Juna is powerful and lyrical. Definitely agree with that one. Kiyono is perception and strength, being the unofficial leader of the group, of course. Toyama is geek hacker. He's basically just calling her a nerd. And Nozomi is described as a charming idol. Dude really knows what he's talking about. All of that perfectly describes each of them. So onto their career, their very first song was released on the final day of 2015, I assume to build up hype for the show. The track was Ikenai Borderline, arguably their best song in my opinion, and it would end up being the first ending theme of the show, having a few different versions of the track over the years as well, but this one has all of them singing, which I highly recommend honestly, and the Juna only version is also really good. Like I said, god tier singer. 2016 is when they really got rolling though. 2 albums, Walkure Trap and Walkure Attack, with Miho Karasawa aka Pop Singer True writing the lyrics for 2 of the songs. Then first single Ichido Dake no Koi Nara, the first opening of Macross Delta, which also began to air this year by the way, along with second single Zettai Raido Novetic, second opening, with the coupling track Hametsu no Junjo being the ending theme. Well, one of the ending themes, there's like 12 different ones. There's also their second digital single, Koi Halation the War. 2017, all they had was the mini album Walkure ga Tomaranai, with the titular track also being an all-time banger and a personal favorite of mine, but also their first live show having the same name as the album at Yokohama Arena. 2018 was their recap movie, having the insert song Walkure wa Uragiranai, their third single and only one for the year. Then second concert, again, same name as the song, and again at Yokohama Arena, but this one actually had 2 different days. 2019, nothing. 2020, first official single, Mira wa Ona no Tame ni Aru, image song for the sequel movie that would air next year. But the song was also #1 in the Oricon singles chart for the week of June 8th, about 2 months after it came out. So in 2021, as I just said, this sequel movie came out, finishing their story. Also, final proper album, Walkure Reborn, though their story doesn't actually end here, as in 2022 they had a collab album with other Macross legends, titled De Culture Mixture, to celebrate 40 years of Macross. Yeah, if you're unaware, this franchise began in the 80s, Delta is like the 4th series within the franchise. So last year of 2023 was their final live, a 2-part show titled Last Mission, and a compilation album, Absolute Live, 4 volumes of every single live song that they've performed. And that is where their story ends. For now, with a very strong question mark, it's not actually confirmed that they've disbanded, but unless the franchise wants to give us another season, it's probably better to end their journey here. Most of them are still very active though, Nozomi being an exception. Not really doing music or anime anymore, but Juna is a very active singer, god tier singer. Minori is an active Seiyuu, being the new protagonist of Pokemon, as well as being an Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. Actually, funny enough, Kyono and Naobo are also in that series, but are also still very active Seiyuu, while Toyama is more Seiyuu and Yasuno is more of an IMUS performer. Also, when it comes to the big festivals, technically not at either of them, but at Animax in 2023, 3 of them did perform some Macross music together, just not as Walkure. Now for the final group of the video, to again keep my tradition of ending with a group that has a Love Live member tied to it, which always seems to be a Nijigasaki member, by the way, we have Run Girls Run. Also, sorry if the audio sounds a little different than the rest of the video, this is like a week later during the recording. I may have gotten a little too carried away with video games. So, Run Girls Run, formed in 2017 and debuted in the final season of the Wake Up Girls anime, in association with Avex Pictures and 81 Produce, also on the Dive 2 label. The group has 3 members, Orange Lady Yuka Morishima, the leader, portraying Otome, Red Goddess Koko Hayashi portraying Ayumi, and Light Blue Nanami Atsuki portraying Itsuka. I didn't bother with the last names of the characters because, well, like with the Wagu seniors, they share the same name as their characters. The Wake Up Girls characters having the same first name but different last names as their Seiyuu, while with RGR, here the characters have the same last names but different first names. And just in case that is confusing, Koko Hayashi plays Ayumi Hayashi. So, as I said, they were formed in 2017, but the career didn't fully begin until the following year, which was their first single, Slide Ride, opening theme for Death March to the Parallel World. But they also had Kirato Start, as well as Go Up Stardom, the first 2 openings for Kirato Prichan, where the 3 girls would have leads. Also portraying them in live action, Nanami voicing Rinka, Yuka voicing Mel, and Coco voicing Mirai. In 2019, they had 3 more singles, Break the Blue, opening for Girly Air Force, while its coupling track, Never Ending, was the 3rd opening for Kirato Prichan. The second single of the year, Diamond Smile, was the first opening for Season 2 of Prichan. Then Share the Light, my favorite track of theirs, also the first one I ever heard from them, the opening for Assassin's Pride. I highly recommend the music video, but I also recommend that you watch the opening for the show. The animation is great with their music. The show itself is hit or miss, so that's up to you to decide, but definitely check out the opening. The coupling track for Share the Light was Kirillist Jewelist, the second opening for Season 2 of Prichan. All 3 of them did technically sing the final ending theme too, just not marketed as RGR. And Coco by herself sang the first ending theme of Season 2. This year they also had an April Fool's joke where they were going to change their name to Dawn Balls Dawn, a pun on the Japanese word for cardboard box. They said that they would also release a new single titled Shakito Start, a play on their song Kirato Start. Then over in 2020 they had their only album, Run Girls World, but also their 7th single, Luminance Princess. Some places do cite this as the first opening for Season 3 of Prichan, but the 3rd opening is actually their song Illuminage Land, which, unless I'm missing something here, hasn't been released unless it's on a Prichan album, which I'm kinda sure it is, somewhere. Anyway, for the year of 2021, all they had was their final single, Dreaming Channel, the final opening for Prichan. 2022 was their first and only mini-album, Get Set, Go. This one even having 1 solo song from each girl, and this would actually be their final release in general. Then in 2023, they held their final live show around the end of March, with the girls formally disbanding afterwards. Sad to see them go, but with both of the shows that they're associated with ending, it only made sense. Aside from their solo shows, they've also been at Animax in 2019 having a duet with Machiko, and the same year having a joint live with both Wagu and Iris. And since they've disbanded, Coco has joined Love Live's Nijigasaki School Idol Club as the new Setsuna Yuki, but she's also Takishina, the drummer from My Go in the Bang Dream franchise. She's really out here killing it. As for the other two, well, they haven't really done anything yet, just sticking with their live-action pre-chan stuff as far as I can see. And that's actually it for this one. So if I missed one of your favorite groups, well, maybe I covered them in the first 3 videos, or I will be going over them in the next one. But feel free to drop a comment down below about a unit that you like. I'm always down to learn about new groups. I will have many links down below for music videos. Keep in mind some of them might not be from official sources, so they may get deleted over time and the quality may vary. But you can most likely just find music videos here or on the Chinese video site. So if you hear a song that you like or just have any interest in anything that I've talked about, I definitely recommend going out of your way to find a music video or just use your usual music app to find them. And with that, we have fully reached the ending. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and I've piqued your interest to check out a new group. Please join me in the next one about a little discussion video about my opinions on what a seiyuu is versus an idol or even just a singer in general. As always, I look forward to seeing you there.